Welcome to another episode of our channel, where we break down the most intricate details and hidden gems in your favorite shows. Today, we're going to cover everything about Rings of Power Season 2. This season brought a ton of surprises, complex character developments, and layers of mystery that even the most hardcore Tolkien fans might have missed. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's break down every plot twist, every secret, and every theory, as well as what this means for the next season. Trust me, we've got a lot to talk about, and this is the review you didn't know you needed. Season 2 builds on the world introduced in the first season, but where Season 1 was mostly setting the stage, Season 2 is where the true conflict of Middle-earth begins to unfold. The plot revolves around several key storylines: the rise of Sauron, disguised as Halbrand, the tensions in Numenor, and the forging of the rings. It's a season about power, alliances, and the consequences of ambition. The pacing is much tighter this time, and the stakes feel higher as we inch closer to the eventual chaos that Tolkien's lore promised us. One of the most captivating aspects of the season is how we see Sauron working his way into positions of power without revealing his true nature. Meanwhile, Galadriel continues her quest to stop evil at any cost, even if it means making morally questionable decisions. The tension between the different factions, elves, dwarves, Númenóreans, and the Southlanders, brings a lot of political intrigue, adding layers to the simple good versus evil battle. There's an impending sense of doom that the show builds toward, setting us up perfectly for a dramatic shift in the world of Middle-earth. One of the season's most mind-blowing reveals is that Halbrand is, in fact, Sauron. The character had spent the entire first season and most of the second season acting as an ally to Galadriel. But if you pay attention to his actions and dialogue throughout Season 2, you'll notice subtle hints: his reluctance to share details about his past, his knowledge of ancient craft, and his ability to manipulate those around him. His relationship with Galadriel is particularly interesting, as he plays on her desire to stop evil, twisting her into trusting him. His true identity raises the stakes for the upcoming season, as we're left wondering how long he can stay in disguise and what his ultimate plan is. Galadriel's arc in Season 2 is all about obsession and its cost. She's determined to hunt down Sauron, but this drive makes her blind to the bigger picture. Her unwavering belief that she's fighting for good comes into question when we realize she's been unknowingly helping Sauron the entire time. The twist of her trusting Halbrand, and by extension, Sauron, adds complexity to her character. She's still heroic, but now we see the cracks in her judgment. Her realization that she's been manipulated is heartbreaking, setting her up for a season of self-doubt and possible redemption. Their relationship is key to the forging of the rings. Celebrimbor, influenced by Sauron's ideas, without knowing his true identity, is driven by a desire to create something powerful enough to preserve Elvenkind. Elrond, on the other hand, acts as a moral compass, wary of the ambitions at play. This dynamic leads to the creation of the rings, but it also lays the groundwork for a possible falling out in future seasons, especially when the consequences of their actions come to light. The subplot with Durin and the discovery of Mithril is a significant development. Durin's relationship with his father reflects the theme of ambition versus tradition. Durin wants to mine the Mithril to save the elves and bring prosperity to his people, but his father warns against it, knowing that this greed could awaken something dangerous, foreshadowing the Balrog deep beneath Moria. This sets the stage for the tragic downfall of the Dwarven Kingdom, as hinted at in Tolkien's lore. The stranger remains a mystery, but we get more hints about his true identity. Fans are speculating that he could be Gandalf or one of the Blue Wizards, given his elemental magic and his bond with the Harfoots. His journey feels like the slow build-up to something monumental, and while his role isn't fully revealed yet, it's clear he'll play a significant part in the coming conflict. The Elven Rings are finally forged in this season, but the bigger event, Sauron forging the One Ring, has yet to happen. The visual cues during the forging process suggest that there's something sinister brewing beneath the surface. The rings, though made for preservation, are destined to be tools of Sauron's control. The idea that power, even when created for good, can be twisted for evil is a theme that runs throughout Tolkien's work, and this season embodies that message perfectly. The Kingdom of Numenor is a ticking time bomb. The conflict between Queen Miriel and Pharazôn reflects the larger tension within the kingdom. Pharazôn's lust for power and his ambition to elevate Numenor above the elves hints at the civil war that is bound to happen. The seeds of Numenor's downfall are being sown this season, and every political move is one step closer to its destruction. Durrant's decision to mine Mithril sets up a looming disaster. We already saw the Balrog lurking in the depths of the mines, and it's only a matter of time before this ancient evil is awakened. This is one of the most exciting setups for future seasons, and it's a ticking clock that we know will end in tragedy for the dwarves of Moria. Is the stranger Gandalf? Many fans believe that the stranger could be Gandalf, based on his elemental powers and his connection to the Harfoots, who are ancestors of hobbits. But there's also the possibility that he's one of the Blue Wizards, two lesser-known characters in Tolkien's lore who traveled east. His identity will likely be revealed in Season 3, but the clues so far lean heavily toward a familiar face. Sauron's plan. Now that Sauron's identity is out, what's his next move? Will he try to forge the One Ring in secret, or will he continue manipulating the kingdoms of men and elves? His eventual betrayal of Numenor seems inevitable, but how he plans to orchestrate it remains one of the biggest questions. What will happen to Numenor? The cracks in Numenor's political structure are growing, and we know from Tolkien's lore that its downfall is coming. Pharazôn's ambition will lead to disaster, but when and how that will happen in the series is still unclear. Season 3 promises to be a game-changer in several ways. First, we'll likely see Sauron solidify his position of power. With his true identity revealed, it's only a matter of time before he begins to actively corrupt the kingdoms of men and the elves. Expect him to forge the One Ring, which will give him control over the other rings and tip the balance of power in his favor. Numenor is heading for civil war. Pharazôn's political maneuvering will likely escalate, leading to a split in the kingdom. This will set the stage for the eventual downfall of Numenor, possibly by the end of the season. The tension between the Númenóreans and the elves will also likely intensify, driving the kingdom into isolation and ruin. The stranger's true identity should finally be revealed, and if he's Gandalf or another Astari, we can expect his role to expand significantly. His bond with the Harfoots could lead to them becoming a more central part of the story, possibly hinting at the origins of the hobbits. Finally, we're almost certainly going to see the awakening of the Balrog in Moria. Durrant's obsession with mithril mining is bound to have disastrous consequences, and this event will likely be one of the major climaxes of the season. If you like our review, kindly encourage us by liking and subscribing for more videos. Thank you for watching.